Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all of these sectors, looking for potential investment opportunities. I did update my purchase history today. I did make some starter positions in some areas. If you're interested, take a look at that update. And we still have a coupon code Mayday that is active. If you'd like to try it out, you get 50% off the first month only on the monthly membership, and you get a larger discount on the yearly membership. For anyone who is already a member or wants to be a member, you can get that discount. So let's dive in here. Let's take a look and see what's going on today in the markets. We've got the DXY down today, down. This is back and forth action going on here. We had a pretty large selling pressure day there. Then it was reversed quite heavily. And today we still have a pretty large selling pressure day today. So we've got, I'll just say we're getting a lot of volatility here in the dollar. What could be driving this? Up and down interest rates and volatility in interest rates could be doing this. What we're trying to gauge is what's the direction. And generally, the direction of wherever yields go is where the dollar goes, mostly speaking. We broke out of this pattern to the downside. There's the breakout there. And that is a weakening of the dollar. And what that was doing was it's anticipating the rate cuts. And that's where the 2-year yield fell and all the other yields fell, and the dollar fell with it. Now we're trying to discern if we're going to get a bounce here or if we're going to continue lower. I'm not too concerned on the medium to longer term in terms of my investments, but this is just something to gauge what the denominator is doing in pricing our assets, commodities in general. So today, we were down today, down 0.37, and we have a battle back and forth. We kind of entered this from the top side down, and that momentum is still there. It's trying to reverse it here. I don't know if it will be successful or not. That's what we're monitoring. And the reason I say it's trying to reverse it is this big bullish engulfing day there that we've got, and then a smaller downward day, but it's still it still has some selling pressure there. It's not light selling. So that's still undecided at the time in the short term for the DXY. 2-year yield up 1.6%. So we've been traveling sideways and a little bit more of a larger surge higher there. They're probably releasing bonds on the short end here. We've got the 10-year, which was sideways today. We have a longer-term breakdown there, and we're trying to see if this is going to try to hold here. It's just been kind of trading sideways. And it's not clear what direction this is going to go in. The momentum is still down, so we have to stick with that momentum at this time, and it could be a potential flag pattern, but we haven't broken out of that thing if it is one. The 30-year down just a little bit. It's been drifting higher the past couple weeks, and we've broken below the pattern to the downside of this uptrend line. So we'll see if this is a return move, a retest move, or if it's just kind of meandering sideways before heading lower, or if we can actually eclipse it and come back up. Don't know yet, but it's one to watch. We've got TYX, TNX ratio. It pulled on back, and it looks like it wants to pull back further. That is a bearish engulfing. That generally is a little bit of a headwind for gold if we do get a pullback. And that's where that is located. We're at a very low location where we could uninvert massively if there is a problem in the market. But they could also be a head fake. We very well could stay inverted here and come back down and stay inverted for a while longer. That is also another possible case. So everybody thinks that we just uninvert and everything's going to crash. Well, we could reinvert. That is a possibility. And we do have the 2-year up 1.6% and the 10-year flat today. So that is an inversion of the yield curve. Bond prices are slightly higher, but didn't really move much. So again, we've broken through the downtrend there, and it's just working its way on up slowly. The 2 and 10 did invert today. We are up 1.55. That 2-year going up a lot more than the 10-year. Gold up about $12 an ounce. The momentum is still behind it. Still looks good. We've got silver up 1.15. We do have a little wick at the top, a little bit of selling pressure. Came in towards the middle end of the day. That's the reversal there that we came on back. And we'll see what we can do here in terms of putting together a rally or not. We are still positioned on top of support. Big support zones all through here, and this still has a bullish setup on the longer term to go higher, and it could go substantially higher. That's what we're looking for there, and this could just be a consolidation zone. Platinum up 3.33%. We're getting closer to a big breakout here. I'm watching this bad boy. I am watching this bad boy for a potential breakout. I'd like to see it rip. I have large holdings in it, and it looks good to do that. We also have this pattern here that we've seen before big breakouts. It's the same pattern that silver had before it broke out. It's the same pattern that gold had before it broke out. It's this pattern right here. I will copy it and show you it. So it is this pattern right there. That is the pattern I'm talking about. I copied it, and then it looks like it is a very similar pattern to what we have going on here. It's just moved and stretched out a little bit. But this pattern here is that pattern there. And it looks like it's getting ready for a breakout with a nice big bullish breakout. On the right-hand side here, looks really good. Palladium's up 1.2%. Still looks good to go higher. You get the big candlestick there and then the small little pullback there. So that looks good to go higher. Looks really good. GDX up 0.8%. We got GDXJ up 1.3%, looking fantastic on this longer term picture here to move higher. Coming out of this base here and about to rip. We've got SILJ up 1.8, and that's also still in the base, but it is putting together a pretty strong candlestick going on here these past trading weeks to try to break out of this, what I consider will most likely be a big base. And the way I kind of view this, I'm just going to back it out, is I think that this is a base for a move that goes something like that. That's what I think. And it'll look similar to GDXJ, which this is your base down here, breakout, retest, and now it's running. So something very similar to that. We've got XAU to gold ratio. We are still at very low levels down here, and it looks good. We were up today trying to break through this resistance zone where the mining companies could start to run against gold if gold continues to run higher. So I think this is a very good setup. It's got a nice, good bullish engulfing on the monthly here. There it is on the monthly, and that is an indication that we could go higher. It looks really good. And guys, I swear to God, guys, I hope you're positioned for this. I really hope the best for everyone who's listening to this. You don't get this opportunity often where you get a move like this. And this is the same setup that I had with oil back in 2020. It's a very similar setup. Crude oil down 3.27%. It's getting sandwiched between this resistance and support zone. We'll see if it breaks through that support zone. You can also say that this is a bearish pattern that we broke out of. It's not a huge pattern, so we might not go down much further. We could even go like that. It's still possible. A lot of people are bearish on oil. They say that a recession's coming, blah, 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 blah. But this here, this full pattern is a bullish pattern. And this is the continuation. This is a consolidation here. So in my opinion, this is your up leg. This is your consolidation that we're going through right now. Once that consolidation is done, we are going to go into launch mode. And launch mode looks something on the lines of this. So if I were to take it, this is what I think is coming. It will be something on the lines of that. And that's where we'll eventually end up. And I don't know if we're done yet pulling back, but I think we've got a lot of interesting trading ahead of us, probably to the upside. TTF gas up 0.7%, looking good. It's got that nice uptrend going on. We got natural gas in America up 4.36 against some resistance. I drew this sideways line pretty long time ago, and it is still in play, acting as resistance. We need to break through that and stay above it. A little bit of a double bottom pattern going on here, so that looks kind of interesting. We got XOP, yeah, you know me, down 2.4%. Coming back down, a little bit of stronger selling pressure the past 3 days here. Is there further downside? Well, we'll have to look at oil and see if that continues lower. It is below support, the trend line here, and we are below that. But sometimes they do give a little bit of a false breakout, and there could still be some downside left in this thing. We'll have to wait and see. OIH also down 3.12%. There it is. Strong selling pressure past 3 days, and we'll see if there's more downside. We are below support of this channel. So we could see further downside in this. Very possible. We've got Newcastle coal futures up 0.42%, looking good. Sideways to higher is what I think is going to happen with coal. We're sitting above support, this long-term support level, and it looks like we're bottoming. Sprott Uranium Trust just getting a small down day today. Still looks good to go higher. Still looks good. Just a small little down day. Uranium's future pricing higher today, 0.19%. Looks like it wants to turn and go higher. It looks good. URA up 0.9%. Looking decent. And again, we could still get a pullback, guys, in a retest. That is still on. It's still in the deck of cards here. But it looks good. URNM also, a little bit of selling pressure throughout the day. It was up, but a little bit of selling pressure throughout the day, and URNJ, a little bit of selling pressure. So we still could do a retest. So don't get all worried if we get a little bit of a pullback in the short term. The double bottom's in, it looks like. And as long as we hold this support, this is generally another good buying opportunity if it gets down there. Copper just ripping 3.5%. Big move, still upside. Upside. Looks really good. Broken the downtrend and been up ever since. COPX also up 5.29%. Look at these gaps this thing's leaving. My God. Big old gaps everywhere in this thing. But it still looks good, and we look good to go higher. Look good to go higher. Now, that doesn't mean we go straight higher. I'm just saying overall trend is up. Iron ore. Iron ore just moving sideways, down 0.6%, and it looks like it's trying to base out here, and we'll see if it bases. It very well could sell to the downside even. This could just be a channel that we break to the downside. So don't get too cocky down here, thinking that we've already bottomed. We have to start to break and make a new high for me to change my mind, is what I'll say. Aluminum up 3%. We're still in the sandwich between resistance zone and support zone. So we want to break through and get out of here and close above it on a monthly closing. You can see on the monthly closings, we haven't really closed above it. We got close, but no cigar. Nickel moving sideways still. I wouldn't be too quick yet. We still got these big downward moves and small up moves. So I would be waiting to see the big green candlestick show up. Move up 2.19. That definitely looks like a bottom, feels like a bottom. Up pretty good today, and I think we'll continue higher. Fertilizers were ripping it today, but that looks good. We've got emerging markets up quite a bit, 3.66%. That's what I like. Big gap there. We've got KRE, which is the regional bank ETF, still in the pattern I drew a long time ago. Still squeezing up. We've got TAN up 3.35. Looks like the renewable sector getting a little bit of life into it today. Lithium looking pretty strong, up 5.57. I talked about the support zone here. So there's the support. Let me draw it like this. There we go. I don't know why it shifted on me. There's the support area. We are bouncing off that support area, and it looks pretty strong of a bounce. Look at that. That is a pretty strong bounce there. We've broken and made a new high here, and a couple of gaps there, but that looks pretty strong. REMX doing the same exact thing, double bottom, and we're starting to make some new highs here. So these could be some ones to look at for potential investments from a very low point. This is your initial entry points could be down here. I would have probably taken a position over here. This day right there is where I would have done it. If you want to know what I would have done. And again, there's some good lithium stocks that I like. If you guys want to know what they are, and I do screen these things quite well. I use technical analysis and fundamental analysis, and I listened to one of the quarterly earnings conference calls here recently. But that's you have to join the website and see what I did on the website there to see what I'm playing. Baltic Dry Index up just a little bit, looking good, feeling good. There it is, looking good. Continuing higher, looks good to go higher. We've got XHB up 0.9%, and I thought all the housing crash guys, I'm still sure that they're calling wolf on all of it. There's your uptrend there. So you got an uptrend, you have a breakout here. We could see a retest, and no, I would not get scared on this, and we could then bounce off that, depending on what rates do. Remember, rates have been kind of volatile recently. Russell 2000 still looks good to go higher. That's just a flag pattern ready to go on break on higher. So that looks good. We've got the SPX. It's up today. It lost a little bit of momentum. That's why it's a red candlestick, but it's still meandering its way higher. Not really powerfully, but just meandering. We've got the NASDAQ also doing the same thing. We've broken out of here and it's been meandering higher, almost like someone is trying to push this higher. Usually you don't see this, get these huge selling pressure candlesticks like this. And then it's like someone comes in and just pushes it. No, we'll just push it on higher. SMCI, I heard there's some like fraudulent things going on with this. I don't know, but it was down 12%. Still looking pretty crappy. It's you get these like upward moves here, and then it craps out down below it. NVIDIA up a little bit. It's right on resistance. We'll see if we can break here or if it's going to get rejected. Don't know yet. We'll see what happens. That does have that one pattern though that looks like it could break higher. That consolidation pattern. Let me get this blue guy out of here. Let me see if I think I have that still saved. There we go. That guy. See that? A very similar pattern there to what is being traded on here. So let's blow this thing up and see if it fits at all. But that's the pattern there. If you want to know what I mean by the continuation pattern, just blowing out a little bit different. BTC, Bitcoin up 1.9%, still in the pattern, still looks bullish. And then Ethereum up 2.5%, still looks bullish here too. We squeezed there, breakout, squeezed, breakout. So squeezing up and still breaking out. And it looks good at this current time. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Again, I did make some purchases. You can look at my purchase history to see what I did. There are some things that I think are bottoming out or starting to bottom out. It's going to be a process, guys. Sometimes these things can bounce quickly. Sometimes these things can ride and grind out for a little bit. So I put some positions on in some of these sectors. You can see what they are. And that's right. So that's what I've got for today. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.